Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's opinions video. This is a different one. This is more of an emotional one, of course, because today, at the time of recording this, is the 1 year anniversary of Bray's passing, and it doesn't feel like it's been a year, but then in many ways, it also feels like it's been longer. I feel like we've spoken about this and Bray so much over the past 12 months that I could believe it was years and years and years ago. But then if I think about the Pitch Black match and I think about his return at Extreme Rules and I think about seeing Uncle Howdy for the first time and I think about White Rabbit, then it doesn't seem that long ago. So it's really strange. It's really strange. I don't know how the family are feeling. And, you know, with that being said, this is a video that could definitely be a downer. I'm going to try and not make it that way. I want to keep it light and bouncy and keep it moving because I don't think Bray would want it to be a downer. And I think there's so much to celebrate and remember. And we know that nostalgia is a very powerful thing. So we're going to be talking about some of our favorite ever moments. I actually don't know mine. I always like to start with like my opinion. And I don't know mine. I can tell you there's a couple of things that come to mind, first of all, when I think about Bray. I can remember seeing the Wyatt family and just falling in love with them. I thought the Wyatt family was one of the best things I'd ever seen. I loved everything about them. I loved the look. I loved the presentation. I even enjoyed the promos, although they weren't to everyone's taste. I love the vignettes. I love the spookiness of them, but just a cult just makes so much sense. I don't know why we haven't done more cults in WWE, but I suppose in a way it's good we haven't because that obviously helped make the Wyatt's family and the Wyatts kind of stand out, you know? So yeah, I very much enjoyed the Wyatt family and their feud with the Shields but I don't know that there's any moments that I would say necessarily stand out particularly from the Wyatt family. For me, seeing The Fiend for the first time and being at the O2 Arena and running out of the arena so that I could film a quick video to say, guys, you need to watch Raw tonight because it was being taped. So I was at Raw in London as it was being taped and then it was going to be shown later. And that's when we very first saw The Fiend. Bit of a shame, really, to be honest. Bit of a shame that we didn't all get to see it live at the same time. But to be in that crowd and to be able to see it a few hours before it aired around the world is just, you know, what a treat. What a special moment. And then when The Fiend finally did arrive in person in an arena, I put up my reaction video for that and Bray Wyatt retweeted it. And he had a phrase which was worth the hurt, worth the healing. And I remember that just blowing my mind as well. And there was just lots. There was just loads of stuff. Really, around the Funhouse time is where things, I think, really went to a different level for me. I wasn't massively keen on his deleter of World's Tag Team with Matt Hardy. It felt like he felt a bit lost. And I think they said that in the documentary as well. I think he may have been going through like his divorce and, you know, creatively, he may have been a bit burnt out by that point, which you can understand. But he goes away, takes the time he needs, and then comes back with the Firefly Fun. So, do you know what I mean? Amazing. Amazing. So, yeah, his impact on WWE on wrestling is undeniable, so. It would probably have to be something to do with The Fiend, maybe seeing The Fiend for the first time. That, you know. But I love when he won the championship, and actually this is the point, isn't it? It's so hard to kind of pin it down. It's so hard to kind of narrow it down. So we're going to go through, we're going to read your comments. This is going to be a longer video. I mean, if this video goes 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, then I wouldn't be surprised. I want to try and get through as many as I possibly can. I mean, we won't go over an hour. I want to get through as many as possible. And I'm going to see if I can write down what people say as we go through. because I'd like to end with a potential top 3. I don't know how easy that's going to be. I feel like I might have bitten off a bit too much with that challenge, but it would be good to go, right, this is what you lot have said, in at number 5, in at number 4, in at number 3, and we count down your favourite Bray Wyatt moments. So I have, as a result, actually scanned through, and I've already got down to Austin 316, right? So I've already jotted these down. So we're fine for the start. As soon as we get to Austin 316, then I'll have to start writing them again, though. So this is Billy. Billy says, easy, the return promo on SmackDown. The most sensational promo I've ever seen. Can't watch it without tears streaming down my face. Resonated with my situation at the time, and let us see a little bit of real Bray Wyatt for the first time. It was stunning. I really like that. I left a little heart, and I really like that because it's so true. Bray was always so distant. I remember him saying in an interview, I think it was with Ryan Satin, that he thinks that people talk too much, and he thinks that people give too much away, and he wanted to keep things closer to his chest. He didn't want to give away answers so easily. So there was always this distance that he purposefully kind of, maintained. You'd get meet and greets, of course. He loved his fans. But actually getting answers from him or getting a little peek behind the curtain was always very difficult. I think he sort of learnt that from Undertaker, really. Undertaker never revealed anything. And it massively helped his character. And I think Bray kind of took that. And I think it's a lesson that people can learn, in modern wrestling, like protect the character. It does work in your benefit if you kind of do keep some cards close to your chest. So, yeah, very good. I agree. KP said Extreme Rules, the return. I've got so many, but this is the one that stands out most. And I can tell you it gets mentioned quite a few times. AI Wrestling Zeus said the return at Extreme Rules. I've never been so emotional in wrestling. It was the perfect payoff to a fantastic White Rabbit campaign. Oh, I mean, White Rabbit. I mean, that could be... I actually don't know if that's going to be mentioned, but White Rabbit was incredible. Maybe people don't quite feel that's Bray, but it's still within his universe, isn't it? Without Bray, we wouldn't have had White Rabbit, and oh my god, that was so good. Adam said either the Fiend winning the Universal Championship for the first time or his return at Extreme Rules. I can tell you that I went with the first answer, so Fiend winning the Universal Championship. Millie said, obviously, there are so many outstanding matches and moments, but for me personally, I got carried away to a different fairy tale, or was it a nightmare? Whenever Bray connected with Alexa Bliss, I love horror and romance. So, Millie, shout out to you. We've got some of the little clips here of Bray, the Fiend with Alexa. This is kind of from that Thunderdome era. Heel Uzi said winning his first WWE Championship, so amazing. Elimination Chamber. The only downer is that he doesn't hold it very long. He kind of wins it at Elimination Chamber and then loses it at WrestleMania. So I think it's like 40-odd days, something like that. Tragic. The way that he was booked. I feel like his characters, his creative was all so good. It just needed the support of creative, like WWE creative. The people that decide who win the matches. The people that decide how long a title reign is going to be. It just needed the support from them because Bray's creative was there, So frustrating. But yes, that moment where he wins, completely agree. Dort Bright said Bray winning Elimination Chamber in 2017. So that's obviously when he wins the title as well. Bia said, has to be Extreme Rules return. The pop was unbelievable. Detective of Wrestling said, my favourite moment was the Fiend's first entrance and match at SummerSlam 2019. I was there in person and it was amazing. It was scary as hell, but I loved it. Also, here is a sneak peek of the pitch black mask and the 6 mask that I am making in honor of Bray Wyatt. Looks really good. Doing a great job. That looked great when it's finished, Detective of Wrestling. Miss Clown said, honestly, seeing him as the Fiend for the first time. Yeah, amazing. What a moment. I'm guessing you're talking about the Funhouse. You might be talking about when he first appears in the arenas. The first time we see the Fiend is that Firefly Funhouse episode. And, oh, just amazing. TJF 1983 said, my favourite Bray moment was when he came back and he was himself in that promo. But there are so many moments. Very true. Here's Brady. My favourite moment is the Fiend's first entrance at SummerSlam 2019. Aura personified. But if we're talking about more than a moment, then it's the partnership between Alexa and Bray. And I think this is from when he passed away, and Alexa posted that. She may have posted this image with it as well, if my memory serves me right. So I think this is her post about Wyndham 12 months ago. Word of Wrestling said, Bray Wyatt returning, finally, being himself, thanking the fans for never giving up, for being there when he needed us most. It was him, as himself, speaking to us as Wyndham. We never got this before, so losing him hurt more. R.I.P. Colton said, really anything he did, but my favourite moments were when he won the WWE title in 2017 and the Universal title in 2019 or 2020. It was both. He won it in 2019 and 2020, so you were right. Austin said, no doubt it was winning the WWE title at Elimination Chamber, a moment that was long overdue, and he defeated two of the best in Cena and AJ to get it. Not to mention, we got to get that triple threat with him, Cena, AJ on SmackDown, says Austin. Right, Hasbro said before his passing, it was the Firefly Funhouse match versus Cena. It showed his creativity in a hard time. It proved to the world that there is only one Bray, and it really changed WWE forever. But since passing, it is the promo when it was just him, Wyndham, speaking from the heart. Well, I've accepted your first answer, Hasbro. I've gone with the Firefly Funhouse match, and that was actually the first time it was mentioned, so there you go. Nathan says, definitely his return at Extreme Rules. It was perfect. I loved it. And the promo that followed on SmackDown, it hit hard. Truly a special person. R.I.P. Bray. Today is extremely hard. It also marks 2 years since my dad passed. I was looking through old pictures and crying, and then got on Twitter and I saw the news. I had a panic attack and it was all too much, says Nathan. Nathan, sorry to hear that it was so hard. I can understand. I think a lot of people kind of had, trouble processing it. It was just a really, really dark time, wasn't it? It still is in many ways, but that's why we're trying to keep it light and bouncy and trying to get through some of the happy memories. Isaac says his WWE Championship win at Elimination Chamber, plus when he debuted as the Fiend character. Chanel said, gosh, there are so many, but the night he became WWE Champion inside Elimination Chamber will forever be my favourite. I think that's front runner at the moment, Elimination Chamber. Donald said, there are so many moments, but my favourite is when Bray introduced us to the Fiend character. R.I.P. Wyndham. Kelly said, this is a very hard question because everything he did was gold to me. But I will say when he returned after being let go and talking to the fans as himself, I know he was still in character, but that speech he gave was from the heart. That was Wyndham, and it still hurts. Jim said Bray's goodbye to the NXT audience before the Wyatt family went to Raw. It was an absolutely perfectly delivered promo, a wonderful way to move brands, which I don't think we see so much anymore. People just tend to get called up, said Jim. Yeah, that's the first time we've had that mentioned. So NXT goodbye promo. Very good. Very good. I think the fact that we're getting so many different moments mentioned Just shows how many different great Bray moments there were. Raymond said, my favourite Bray moment is when he returned at Extreme Rules. That gave me chills. Bray will always be my favourite. Wrestling fans since day one said his WWE Championship win at Elimination Chamber in 2017. I love you, Bray. Right, Boar Left to Live said him winning his first WWE Championship. Up to that point, I'd watched Bray for years. I cried that night like a little baby. That moment right there is something special to me. After his passing, I didn't sleep for nearly 3 days. YNWALFC said it's not really a moment, but his and the Wyatt family's feud with the Brothers of Destruction. Okay. I'm going to put Brothers of Destruction feuds. Lovely. The presence that Bray had going toe-to-toe with them was magnificent. Also, his feud one-on-one with Undertaker. I loved it. The current star in the supernatural space versus the Phenom. Dog Lover said definitely when he fought Cena at Mania 30. The presentation of him coming out, being sung by the live band and all the Fireflies, that moment warms my heart. So, Mania 30 match. That's the first time that's been mentioned as well. Okay, Alistair Scream said Raw on April 28th, 2014, when the lights went out during John Cena's promo, and Bray brought out the choir and sang he's got the whole world in his hands with them, all while John stood in the ring surrounded by the steel cage looking on in shock. That was pure cinema. So, I'll put children's choir, which is quite a weird thing to be writing, but it was, you're right, quite the moment. NWL Ninja Jelly said all of his promos and in-ring work was my favourite Bray moment due to the fact that one of his promos was truly special, told a lot of truths and wasn't scripted and was made by himself. And 2, his in-ring work was very captivating and very special every time he stepped in the squared circle. Well, I can't really put any specific there because it seems like you enjoyed all his promos and all his matches, so we'll just keep that general. Kim's Trains said, I don't know why, so don't know many, so I have a small choice, but interaction with Broken Matt Hardy was very fun. The two of them worked well together. I'm going to choose the whole storyline with them as one moment, and they had the capability of creating an amazing story together. So I'll put partnership with Matt Hardy. Partnership with Matt Hardy. Very good. It's Bryn again said, my answer would be every moment. But one I thoroughly enjoyed with his matches with Matt Hardy, as well as that tag team run. So actually, that's gone from not being mentioned to now getting 2 votes. Shaquem said, my favourite Bray Wyatt was him winning the WWE Championship. He will be missed. 1 year, it feels like it was yesterday. Crazy. Sending my prayers to his family and friends, and more to his kids and JoJo. Christian said, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment was when he won the World Heavyweight Championship at Elimination. I can tell you this is outright running away right now. Outright running away. Amari said, when Bray and Alexa were in the Firefly Fun house. I'll put Bray and Alexa. We've already got Bray and Alexa, so I'll give that the second vote. Chris, shout out to you. So there we go. Just I'm gonna actually score that as being Bray and Alexa again. I don't know if that might be the Fiend, but because Alexa's in it, I've gone with the Bray and Alexa one. This looks like, oh, Wyatt. Yes, this is great. Wyatt's against the Shields. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Love that, Janie. Daniel said, as brief a run as it turns out, his title win at Elimination Chamber in 2017, he truly deserved that after putting over other folks over the years, as Husky Harris, etc. It was brilliant to see him get the moment. Cult leader Bray was my favourite. Wrestle Knight said the first WWE title win in Elimination Chamber. The return promo in 2022 will always make me cry. I think about it at least weekly. The promo also really fit my life at the time, like most of Bray's promos throughout his whole career. Leaping Lucha Larry said so many. I loved the way the Wyatt family from the start. His first title win. The Firefly Funhouse, the debut of The Fiend, White Rabbit, Extreme Rules return, Pitch Black, Bray Just Don't Miss. I loved it all. Still the hardest loss in wrestling. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Well, because you said you loved them all, I'm going to just leave that general as well. Ratchet the Owl said, I love The Fiend, but my favourite moments for Bray all involve Undertaker. The upside down crawl, the sit-up stare is so iconic. I loved it for Wyndham that he got that WrestleMania moment. Then the moment where Taker passed the torch on Raw. We miss you, Bray. I'll say Undertaker feud. I'll say Undertaker feud. Bo said, definitely everything leading up to his return. It was something that was never done before, and that's hard to do in wrestling. The QR codes had us all guessing who it was, and that's what made him so special. I believe it was one of the funnest times in wrestling. So I'm going to put White Rabbit. I'm going to put White Rabbit there, but I think you're the first person to actually mention White Rabbit, so very good. That's another new thing on the list. RB said Bray winning the title at Elimination Chamber, so I'm going to take that first because these don't appear to be in order. So I'll take that one first. Then Bray's return at Extreme Rules, Wyatt Cena feud 2014, and the Wyatt Family Shield Elimination Chamber. Jello Man said there's a lot of these, but I'd go with the debut of the Firefly Funhouse Fiend because that got me back into watching Wrestling Weekly. So I'll go Fiend reveal because that was on the Funhouse. Ghostface, is MK1. Said easily for me, it's when he does the dance before Sister Abigail with Cena. At the time, my two older brothers were huge Cena fans, so watching him be played with by Bray like a doll had them freaking out, because at the time we thought no one would or could beat Cena. So, I'll put playing with, dancing with Cena. Put that down. Mosey the Wrestling God said mine would be White Rabbit and his last run. Okay. I know it wasn't the best, but him working with his brother is touching. Oh, I'd imagine him working with his brother means so much to the both of them. It might have been his favourite moment, you know. Randy Potts said the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena was such a unique storytelling device that it showed creativity. While both men and production give it 100%, you can tell that this was Bray's idea. So I'll put that down for the Firefly Funhouse match. Brandon said the return promo on SmackDown. It was bone chilling. It was so powerful that it forced emotions from you as you watched. It was raw. It was Bray Wyatt letting Wyndham Rotunda bare his heart and soul for all the Fireflies of the world to know he saw us as much as we saw him. Joey said, Daze, hope all is well. I can't believe it's been a year already. My favourite Bray moment is when he came back with the Firefly Funhouse and introduced us to the Fiend. I was instantly hooked. Ronnie HD said Bray Wyatt is a legend and will forever be remembered. My favourite Bray moment is the Firefly Funhouse. From the outside, it looked like a weird kid show, but in actual fact, it's so much more than that, on a deeper level of meaning. The most unique mind in the business. So I'm going to put that as separate. I'm just going to put Firefly Funhouse. It's difficult because some people have been saying that, but then they've also been talking about the Fiend reveal. So yeah, I'll go Firefly Funhouse, just all of it on that one. Right, Joseph said Extreme Rules return. Okay, Extreme Rules return. I miss Wyndham every day, and it still doesn't feel real. I hope everyone is doing well on this tough day. Big Boy Rushy said The Fiend's debut at SummerSlam. Lovely. Fiend's debut at SummerSlam. Just the entrance already had everyone aware that this character was something big and grabbed attention. Second would be his return at Extreme Rules. So, Matrix here, we've got The Fiend making his entrance. Don't know which one this is from, though. That's the only problem. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing it might just be The Fiend in general. I don't know that it's specifically an entrance. I think I'll just write the word Fiend. I'll just put Fiend on that one. So, Matrix, shout out to you. Bray Wyatt Forever said his return at Extreme Rules 2022. Noah said, I hadn't found WWE until just after he passed away, but watching his documentary really opened my eyes to his creativity and mind. As a writer who struggles with idea overload, seeing Bray navigate the same waters gave me someone I could identify and learn with. So are you saying that the documentary was your favourite? It's not necessarily one moment that's my favourite. It's little moments. Okay. Fair play. So we'll keep that one general as well. Caden said, the first time I heard the Firefly Funhouse song, I thought it was incredible. That hinted at a darker side. Genius. I'm going to put another mark for Firefly Funhouse on that one. Okay, very good. Wrestling Tony said, my favourite of Bray was when he was WWE champion in 2017. Jordan said, Bray Wyatt was so good. Talking points in his matches. I really enjoyed his work and I really miss him. Zaniac said, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment is his return promo on SmackDown. So the return promo. You could just tell that he'd missed professional wrestling so much. That promo is actually my favourite promo of all time, believe it or not. No, I believe it. I believe it. Justin said, honestly, the Extreme Rules return. Nothing beats that for me other than the debut of The Fiend. So I'm thinking that the Extreme Rules return is still your favourite, but debut of The Fiend is close. Right, me name's Dre said, I don't have one favourite moment. I love all his moments. I made this video today because it has been a year. So, unfortunately, we won't be able to play it here because I want to try and get through as many comments as possible. But me name's Dre. Shout out to you. I've left you a like. Seth Brooks said, although I wasn't back into watching pro wrestling at this time, I have gone back and watched a lot of Bray's career. My fave, by far, is the promo he cut. I believe it was on SmackDown after his 2022 return as just him. You could feel it was from the heart, says Seth. Wrestling Misfit said, if I had to pick one, it would have been his last run. From the mystery of the QR codes to the big reveal, everything was amazing, and his vision will definitely live on through his brother. R.I.P. Wyndham. We will definitely miss you. You let the fireflies fly high. So I don't think I can really put anything down for that one, because it's not really White Rabbit, and it's not really his return. It's like all of it, so... but a lovely comment all the same. Matthew said, for me, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment was when The Undertaker whispered in his ear. So, yeah, I'm going to put Undertaker passing the torch. Passing the torch. Lovely. When Bray was feeding against LA Knight, I believe it was the Raw 30th anniversary show it was. You are correct. Tornado Xavier said his return promo on October 14th, 2022. I was there for it. It will forever be special to me. Jay Wyatt said there are so many moments, but I have to say the Fiend reveal and Undertaker passing the torch. Well, I'll go Fiend reveal because you've mentioned it first and it's the top one as well. Cannon Boys said, for me personally, it's his 2022 return. Even though it sadly didn't last long, everything about it was just so special. From the return itself to the promos, everything about it was amazing. So the Extreme Rules return. Okay, Cameron said, here's my favourite moment of his. Everything that he touched for the most part was amazing. Whether it was the Fiend or the creation of the Wyatt family, or even the reason why we always look for stuff in the background, it started mainly with him. For me personally, I've always been a fan of his promos. My favourite moment of Bray's would have to be the Miss Teacher Lady promo. It's the reason why I became a fan of his storytelling and how he legit had the whole world in his hands. Rest in peace to an amazing wrestler and person that won't ever be forgotten. So that's another one that we get added to the list. The Miss Teacher promo. Very good, Cameron. Very good. Uncle Howdy said Bray winning the WWE Championship. Matt said, I enjoyed the Wyatt family a lot, but the first time I saw the flipping creepy upside down crawl, I'll put creepy upside down crawl. Upside down crawl. I mean, I've nearly filled a page here of different things that you lot have mentioned. Michael said, everything was my favourite. I cried hard when he died. Darren said, either him being Brian clean at the Rumble or the SmackDown after he won the world title and the fans chanting, you deserve it. They stick out the most. But how do you choose? So many amazing moments. A life we lost far too soon. Well, I'll go with the one that you mentioned first. So I'll go with Daniel Bryan, Royal Rumble. Joey said, the reveal of the Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse. We all knew something was coming. So Fiend reveal. But when he turned around and the music distorted, it was just perfect. I have always wondered why we got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Not to my knowledge was that referenced again. Still perfect. Yowie, wowie. Sinister File said, when he brought Alexa Bliss into his world, if Vince would have left it alone and let Bray tell the story he wanted to, the tales that we would have gotten. So that's another one for Bray and Alexa. Bray and Alexa. Very good. William Wright said, everything Bray did was my favourite moment, as he is my favourite wrestler that I really enjoyed watching. But if I had to pick a moment, it would be the Fiend's reveal, as that was something out of a horror movie, which I enjoy too. Also, the Firefly Funhouse segments were great. Kieran said, when he debuted the Firefly Funhouse, I love that concept. D. Shubham said WrestleMania 30 entrance of the Wyatt family. Now, we did have that, didn't we? The WrestleMania 30 match. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. The WrestleMania 30 match. Okay, Darkness Bliss said, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment is when he was with Alexa Bliss. So that's another one for those two. If I can just find it. There they are. Lovely. Zach said, not really a moment, but the whole feud he had with LA Knight. I love the back and forth dynamic they had. Was also a real genius way to introduce Uncle Howdy, as literally nobody was expecting him to actually be a separate person, let alone Bo Dallas. So, LA Knight feud. Ron said, the time he returned, it was warm feeling seeing him back. R.I.P. Bray, we miss you a lot. So the return. David said, when the Undertaker passed the torch. Yes, another one for that. And whispered in his ear. I believe it was LA Knight, and when he was doing the spider walk and the Undertaker sat up, and the look on Bray's face, not one I had ever seen before. R.I.P. legend, Wyndham Rotunda. The laugh off with Matt Hardy, says OJH Paradigm Shifts. So I did have Matt Hardy, didn't I? A partnership with Matt Hardy. I'll put it with that. Austin said, not one specific moment, but honestly, him winning the title. Then a few years later, all of the White Rabbit teases leading to his return and the return promo on SmackDown. Well, I'll give it another nod for the first WWE title. Sarcastic Hemp said it's very difficult to pick just one, so I'm going to go with the first two that I thought of. His epic return at Extreme Rules in 2022. I was so excited and happy that he was back. The other one is when he won the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber. Angie said for sure the Firefly Funhouse match with Cena. Did have that. There. Lovely. It's insane to me that he has been gone for a year already. Seeing all of the posts for him today have brought back the heartbreak, but I think he would be so happy about the Wyatt 6 and so proud of Bo. Ian said, personally, the debut of the Wyatt family is up there. So good leading up to it. Maybe the whole world in his hands against John Cena. There's so many to pick from. I'm going to go Wyatt family debut. Wyatt family debut. Very good. FGC Dads said the first Firefly Funhouse because it was so off the wall, yet became such a good segment. Got you. Samantha said, my favourite moment was when he returned and he did his promo where he was himself on SmackDown. That was my favourite and something I'll never forget. Tom said, Daze, I loved the very first Wyatt family moments. The intrigue only begun there and has drawn everyone into the world in his hands ever since. In my opinion, he's got the whole world in his hands. She's got the whole world. So, Tom, shout out to you. I'm going to put that down as Wyatt family debut. I'll put it down as Wyatt family debut because, as you said, that's where it all began. Master Taker said, first one that comes to mind is the first night the Wyatt family showed up. Wow, I'll tell you what, this is starting to get a bit of fire in it. Show up on Raw and they destroy Kane. The second one is when he returned to SmackDown in 2022 and he cut that epic promo from the heart before we were interrupted by Uncle Howdy. Sinan said, my favourite Bray moment was when he cut a backstage promo on the 21st of October and explained that he's not in control anymore and that he just follows the circle. Shatter was playing in the background. So, not in control promo. I remember that one. I remember that. He was kind of backstage, wasn't he? And there was the red and the blue lights in the background. No, Camp Dad said the original iteration, Cape Fear. I personally would have booked him more and more like Cape Fear. Imagine him in the back row of a cinema laughing. Yeah, that would have been good. I'll go Wyatt family debut on that one. Greg said, my favourite moment was when he came back at Extreme Rules. That was so good. Got you, buds. Planet Dan said, I loved everything Bray did. And my favourite Bray moment is having the privilege of seeing him live. It was a Newcastle street fight. Oh, dream match. Newcastle street fights. Was you in Newcastle by any chance? Newcastle street fights between him and Roman. Wow. Thank you and rest in... Wow, imagine that. Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, street fight. That is cool. Jay Dark said the comeback, the whole White Rabbit teases. So I'll go White Rabbit on that one. Lanny said the Hell in a Cell match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and it suddenly blacked out, and you could hear unintelligible chanting. The lantern then appeared to light up in front of Dean Ambrose, and then Bray just lunged out of nowhere to put Ambrose in a Sister Abigail. So we're going to go... That's the first time that's been mentioned. Dean versus Seth. Hell in a Cell. Very good, Lanny. Very good. His return, says Max the Irish guy. So the return at Extreme Rules. Josh Ward said, one of my favorites is R-Truth with Huskus. That was fun. That was fun. I'm not sure it's going to feature on many people's favorite Bray moments, but it was a fun moment. K173 said, there are so many. It's got to be that original Wyatt run when the debut or when he was working with Alexa. So I'll go with your first answer. I'll go with that Wyatt family debut. Lovely. Right, Kuazimoto said, revealing the Fiend. Okay, Fiend reveal. From Mr. Rogers to Killer Clown Demon. Legitimate nightmare fuel, and I loved every second of it. Lee said, the connection between him and the fans. Wyndham drew people together. I've not felt like this since The Undertaker. I'd also like to thank all involved with the Wyatt Six for keeping that connection alive. Miss you, my friend, says Lee. I'll put connection with fans. I feel like that is represented kind of throughout, really. But I'll still put it connection with fans. Very well said. Bradley said the Fiend's debut. Fiend's debut. Oh, is that the reveal? That's the character that made me a Bray Wyatt fan. Just the mystery building up and then the payoff was perfectly... definitely the best thing WWE during the pandemic. I wonder if that's the first time we see it or if it is the debut match, the Fiend's debut. Debut makes me think it's probably the Fiend's first match. So we'll go with that. Fiend's first match. Which I think we did have, didn't we? Is his match at... Oh, yes, there it is. Hadn't been mentioned for a little while, that one, actually. His return at Extreme Rules, that one has. Boom. So, Kaylin, shout out to you. Spartan said, I really like the Firefly Funhouse segments and the Firefly Funhouse match. So, I'll take your first answer. So, Firefly Funhouse. I like the way he returned to WWE Extreme Rules, and also the Wyatts versus the Shield feud, plus the match where Roman and Bray teamed up together. A bit of banter said, God damn, there's so many, but maybe the first appearance of The Fiend. Well, the first appearance of The Fiend was at the Firefly Funhouse, but the GIF that you've included is from SummerSlam, so I'm gonna go with what you said, the first appearance. So that would be the Fiend reveal in the Firefly Funhouse. Where are we for time? Okay, we're okay for time, actually. Okay, we're doing good. S-Beeve said, it wasn't one specific moment for me, but it was more so the entirety of the White Rabbit stuff. Boom. From the build-up to his grand return, it all felt special. Joseph said, when Bray debuted the Fiend gimmick, attacking Finn Balor on Raw. So the Finn attack. Don't know that that's been mentioned, actually. SummerSlam has been mentioned, but I don't know if the attack that led up to it has. I remember being so excited every week for the Funhouse and seeing what would happen next. Then, when he debut attacked Balor, I was live in attendance for it. I'll never forget that moment. Very cool. Very cool. Brendan said, Big Bronson re Braun Strowman, big men with big muscles. Okay. Brendan, would have been good to have got your Bray thoughts, my friend, on this one. Lennon said, the video of the people going into the Wyatt family house because it felt completely different to the product at the time. Okay. People entering Wyatt family. Got you, my friends. Right, my name is Jeff. Said there was a lot of favourite moments for me, but one of my favourites was him winning the Universal Championship on Halloween Day 2019. Now, that is last man standing, isn't it? Against Seth. I think in Saudi. Last man standing match. Very good. Emperor said, there are many moments I hold near and dear to my heart, but my favourite moment that I will always remember is the WWE title at Elimination Chamber 2017. Boom. Lovely. Lucy Axo said, the Bray and Braun segment when Bray brought the Wyatt family Bray back from the dead. That was so good. I know a lot of people prefer The Fiend, but the first Bray Wyatt character was the best. So that was... I'm going to put Braun feud. I'll put Braun feud for that one. Farino said Alexa and Bray together at the Firefly Funhouse. So that can be Alexa and Bray. Hayden said The Fiend making his entrance at SummerSlam. So SummerSlam 2019 debut. Gone with that one. Very good. Devon said when the Wyatt family faced off with the Shield. Yes, we did have that. Wyatt family and Shields. Very good. We're going to compile all of this at the end. So I'll jot down the top 5. Right, I'll do the top 5. Depending on how many votes we've got and how it all shakes out. Definitely top 5. Maybe top 10. It depends. Some of these are so close, we might have, like, you know, 5 different things tied for 6th. So I'll just keep it top 5 then. But, yeah, I'll have all this results on screen for you when we get to the end of the video. So, yeah, very good. I know a lot of people probably say the same, but the debut of The Fiend for me, said Corn Dog. Not as many people as you would think, actually. Such a great debut, it sent chills down my spine. Matt said when he won Elimination Chamber, the new era of Wyatt begins. Eduardo has got the return at Extreme Rules. Laser Popper said my favourite Bray moment was WrestleMania 37 when he paid homage to the late great Luke Harper. Yeah. So WrestleMania 37. Tony said seeing him in the Wyatt family live was unbelievable. Watching him carry the lantern and all the fireflies around me, something I'll never forget. His character development was 1000%. So I'll have to put Wyatt family for that because you're not specifically talking about the debut. So I'll go Wyatt family for that one. Lewis said there's so many to choose from, but that moment, Raw 30 with Undertaker, was special. So the passing of the torch. The passing of the torch. Heffy said, I can't say I have a favourite, but I can tell you what first hooked me on the genius of Wyndham. 2013, those early vignettes, just amazing. And the character only got better. So I'm going to go Wyatt family debut on that one, because that was all part of the build, wasn't it? That was all part of how we got to where we got to. So Wyatt family debut. It's on page 2. I've got so many now written down. Darko said the Miss Teacher Lady promo is what made me a fan for life, says Darko. So that's a second one for that. It's a second mention for that. So there we go. Boom, boom. Very good. Caden said when Bray met The Rock at WrestleMania and Extreme Rules. So I'll put WrestleMania 32. I think that's the moment we're talking about. Crazy Mike said, well, this isn't a moment. It's just the whole storyline with Daniel Bryan. Okay. I'll put Daniel Bryan feud. So it's not specifically the Royal Rumble match. It's like when Daniel's on top of the cage and everything. I love that moment as well. That is so good. So good. Right, Mark said Fiend SummerSlam entrance was epic. So Fiend at SummerSlam debut. Jacob said favourite moment, his return at Extreme Rules. Favourite match would be Elimination Chamber 2017 or the Firefly Funhouse match against John Cena at WrestleMania 36. I've taken your first answer. So his return at Extreme Rules. KWOC said it's hard to narrow down, but the one that stands out is watching The Fiend capture the Universal title at Crown Jewel in 2019. So I believe that's the last man standing match. So I've gone with that. Anthony said his Extreme Rules return or The Fiend debut. So again, first answer, the return. Reveler said, my #1 favourite Bray moment is Bray winning the title at Elimination Chamber, becoming the new champion. My favourite match is when Husky Harris defeated Cavall once more. Down in NXT, Husky Harris with Cody against Cavall with Lay Cool. Harris got a dub. Mackenzie says when he returned at Extreme Rules. Got you. Danielle said Bray and Alexa doing the Mad Hatter stuff on the Firefly Funhouse. So I'll go Bray and Alexa on that one. Bray and Alexa. Steven said his debut with Shatter and his return at Extreme Rules. His debut with Shatter and his return at Extreme Rules. So when did we first hear Shatter? I think was that his promo, like his return promo, I think. Did he come out to that? I don't know that he came out to it at Extreme Rules, but I think he came out to it on the return. So I'm going to go return promo on that one. I think that's when we hear Shatter first. El Patata said the return at Extreme Rules. I barely remember what I watched between 2017 and 2021, but I remember a few things from 2021. Other than watching WrestleMania 37, seeing the Thunderdome, I read that Vince wanted to ban the leg slap, random memory, and Braun and Bray had been released. I got to watch everything that I had missed before he returned. Lots of theory videos about Bray's story and potential Edge Wyatt 6. I didn't want to miss the return to the point where I would watch Raw until 5, sleep 3 hours, and then go to school. Hard times. I'm glad I started to watch WWE again at this time. It was surely one of the biggest reasons I kept watching and got into it again. Very well said. Jamie said the Miss Teacher Lady promo. It's a real favourite, that, isn't it? Chicken Little said Bray Cena Firefly Funhouse match. Real Wrestling Fan said, I don't think it's happened yet. I mean, we all watch this Wyatt 6 story mainly because we know that Bray is still telling stories. So for me, it hasn't happened yet. So R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Oh, shall I put Wyatt 6 for that? I'll put Wyatt 6 because I don't think they've had a mention yet. So I'll put Wyatt 6. Michael said the promo when he came back in 2022 and spoke to the fans as Wyndham. Jimothy said the Firefly Funhouse match was awesome. Davey, is that how you pronounce it? Davey, the Scottish Yorkshireman, says the Firefly Funhouse match against John Cena. Oh, this is having a little late run, isn't it? The Firefly Funhouse match. Kieran said, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment is watching him win the title at Elimination Chamber. Watching him eliminate John Cena when he hit Sister Abigail on AJ Styles getting the 1, 2, 3. What a spectacle to have, to be able to watch live. And I got a tattoo in honour. That is awesome, bud. That is great. I'm really pleased we managed to get this far so that we could show that. That'd be a real shame if it didn't make the video. Very good. Jordan said when Bray won the WWE Championship. Steven said the entire White Rabbits. Very good. Project from the build up to his return and the aftermath. It gave me key inspiration that helped me figure out the final major piece of my own creative works. So for me personally, it's always going to be a favourite. Tamara said the Firefly Funhouse promo video that revealed the Fiend. So Fiend reveal. It was just so well done, so beautiful, and revealed a character who was excellently crafted and a lesson to all those who could even contemplate doing anything similar. Uncle Howdy said there are so many, it's so hard to choose. One would be when he came back on SmackDown and delivered the best real promo ever. It was from the heart, and we got to see true Bray. R.I.P. Bray. VRTXKS said, for me, nothing beats the storyline, the full storyline that the family had with Brian. Over that year, there were so many things wrong with the big dub, but old Vinny got this spot on. I loved it. So the Daniel Bryan feud gets another shout there. We are starting to just run out of time a little bit. We can certainly get a few more, though. Stewie said, my favourite Bray Wyatt moment has got to be the Firefly Funhouse match. Another one for that. Him winning the WWE title, probably the most well-deserved moment, and the finish was incredible. My favourite was Bray having his moment in the Elimination Chamber and winning the first championship. So, shut it down. Shout out to you. Viper Midnight said, when the Fiend debuted and took out Finn Balor. So, that is when he takes out Finn Balor for the first time. Okay. S Games of Viper Midnight. Shout out to you. S Game said either his match against Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble or his return at Extreme Rules. Possibly my favourite match of all time, and in my opinion, the greatest return ever in wrestling. So that's another vote for the Rumble match. This thread is full of incredible moments, said British Wrong Style. I like that name. I loved his attention to detail and how much effort and thought he put into everything. Everything he did felt real. His facial expressions and little touches, like the point when Roman Reigns hit the spear, were always top notch. So I'm going to put his facial expressions. Facial expressions, which is so underrated, you know, during matches. I mean, it can make a good match great. It really can. It can be the difference maker between like a 4-star and a 5-star match easily. So, yeah, very good. Ethan said, I'd have to say the Pitch Black match. First time we've had a mention for the Pitch Black match. Wow. Very good. His first promo on SmackDown after winning the WWE Championship. Lance said when he won the WWE Championship, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Dom said when he debuted as The Fiend at SummerSlam in 2019, and he gave one of the best entrances ever. So that is his match at SummerSlam 2019. Very good. Bray Wyatt winning his first championship, says Ryan. So Dom, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Shout out to you, Ryan. Johnny said, I don't know about a moment, but just his voice and his laugh. He was just one of a kind. Nina said, hello, Wrestling Daze. My son loves watching you. My son's favourite Bray Wyatt moment was when he returned at Extreme Rules. It's written down. With all the puppets, and then boom, he was there. So Nina, shout out to you. Shout out to your son as well. I'm really pleased we were able to get to that one before we ran out of time. Minnie said, a personal favourite of mine because I got to see it in person. March 6th, 2020. I saw this episode of the Firefly Funhouse live, which was leading to my favourite WrestleMania match. And after this episode of SmackDown, he came out as the Fiend and fought Daniel Bryan in a dark match. Do you know what? You're so lucky. So lucky. Because I would have thought that by that point we were in lockdown. But it must have been like a week or two after that. I mean, we're talking March 2020. So it really must have been just a matter of weeks. Just if a week, 2 weeks or like that before we got locked down. It is, you know, people do forget, and I forget sometimes, that there was a good 3 months or 2 months, 2 and a bit months, where, you know, the country and everything was still open, the world was still open. We didn't go into lockdown straight away in 2020, but it does arrive, and it's really not long after this. So, yeah, I can see why that's a favourite. I've got it written down. Richard said, maybe not the best Bray Wyatt of all time, but one of my absolute favourites was The Fiend attacking Alexa. It was the only time a woman was targeted, and it kickstarted a great storyline that brought Bliss and Wyatt together. I'm going to give that to Bray and Alexa. There's been a few votes for that already, so I'll add it to that one, my friend. Patrick said him winning the first championship. So another one for that. His last promo. Okay, last promo. Actually, can't remember. I think wasn't that when it was with it just attacked Hit Row? I think that's the last time we see him on TV. And Jem said there are so many moments over the years since he started that was epic, but his storyline run with Alexa was brilliant. His creativity and genius was like no other. Truly one of a kind. Forever will be a Firefly. Always remember Bray. Gone, but not forgotten. So we're going to have to wrap it up there, unfortunately. Big thank you to everyone else that shared their thoughts. We weren't able, unfortunately, to get to them. We do try and cut it off at that hour mark. I'm going to go away, add these up, and I'll have the top 5 moments on screen for you in a second. Okay, guys, so I've added them all up, and there's lots that have come out as getting, like, the same score, but there are 4 that are very clear as the top 4, right? So what I've actually done is I've got the top 4, I've put them into a poll. This has only been up 11 seconds. I've literally just posted it, and now I'm talking to you. You can see some of the votes that are like starting to come in. So what is the best Bray Wyatt moment ever? These were voted for by our community. You lot, we've literally just done it, right? So the Extreme Rules return in 2022. The Wyndham, the heartfelt Wyndham promo in 2022. Winning the WWE title in 2017. And the Fiend reveal in 2019. So you can see votes are starting to come in very close between these two in the middle at the moment. I can tell you the one that was the outright winner by what we've just done was winning the title. Winning the title was the outright winner. Then the return at Extreme Rules was second. Then it was the promo that was third. And then it was the Fiend that came in fourth. So that is the one that won according to you guys. And at the moment, it's currently leading this poll as well. So that's interesting, isn't it? So we'll obviously keep an eye on that situation. If you want to vote on this, you can go over to my Twitter account, Wrestling Daze YT, my X account. You'll be able to find it there. And big thank you to everyone that left their feedback on this. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. So there we go. Bray Wyatt may have tragically passed away a year ago, but certainly is not forgotten. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.